Hey gang, Roden here. Welcome on back to the Cade and another episode of Sports Saturday as we are carrying on with our great what-if playthrough on Sega Sports NFL 2K2 and trying to create the New England Patriots dynasty of the early 2000s without the existence of Tom Brady. Well, last week we had a huge bounce back against the San Diego Chargers. They were still in San Diego in 2002, not LA quite yet. Beating them quite handily, 45-0. But if you look at that one on our record, that one came against the Indianapolis Colts. And this week, it's the rematch between us and Peyton Manning, this time on our home soil in Foxboro at Gillette Stadium. So it'll be a good test to see if we can carry on as we have, or if we're going to get challenged by Edgerrin James, by Marvin Harrison, by Peyton, and by a reconstituted defense that gave us fits in week 4. Let's get to it. So these Indianapolis Colts, in case you had forgotten, went 10-6 under first-year head coach Tony Dungy. Came over from Tampa Bay in the offseason. And they went to the playoffs where they got thoroughly trounced by the New York Football Jets, 41-0. Yeah, that hasn't happened in a really long time. But, as I said, this defense was really the big thing that Tony Dungy brought with him when he took over at the helm of the Colts. They signed Hall of Famer Dwight Freeney with their first pick in the draft. They went 6-for-7 on the defensive side of the football in the 0-2 draft. But Freeney was really the standout player, and he was their best defensive player for the better part of a decade. Again, he's in Canton now. But the thing you're going to have to really look out for is what can we do to stop Edgerrin James and Peyton Manning, because in week 4, Edgerrin James just ran roughshod all over us. We were not able to really contain him at all. So the Colts have elected to receive, so we will go ahead and kick it away and get this game moving. And it's a cold day here in Foxboro, but no snow, no rain. So we'll see what the elements play into this. And the Colts historically never really did well against the Patriots in the cold. So that is a high kick, and that will be taken to the back of the end zone and will be brought back to the 20. I would have been really surprised if they brought it out. So we're going to see what Peyton Manning and this offense can do on their first drive of the game, starting at their 20-yard line. I'm expecting... Well, we don't have Edgerrin James in the backfield. We've got Jim Finn, the fullback, back there. All right. Well, we'll have to see what he can do. And, oh, he lost the football. Picked up by Teddy Bruschi, and he will walk it in for the touchdown. Are you kidding me? Teddy Bruschi picked up the fumble that was Charlie's. I think it was Ty Law who got the hit. Yep, Law sprang it loose, and he was right there with Teddy Bruschi, perfectly placed to scoop it up and immediately put 6 points on the board on the first play from scrimmage by Peyton Manning in this offense. Just like I drew it up. I was expecting to have a bit more to deal with, but I am certainly not going to look that gift horse in the mouth. How often do you get a situation like that? Well, it's a continuation of what happened last week, where we had 2 fumbles by the special teams for the Chargers that we scooped up for touchdowns. So the trend continues as it's 7-0 New England with just 5 seconds off the clock. Now, I will remind you, we are playing this on standard difficulty as it comes out of the box. So, and the Colts thumped us 2 weeks ago on this same difficulty. So maybe we just got lucky. I don't know. We'll have to see as they will try and bring the ball back this time, and it's a better return up to about the 25 by Milliken. Now let's see what Peyton and this offense can do on their second drive. I am surprised we didn't see Edgerrin James there.
The Colts will start out at the 25.
So Finn is back there, and that's number 40. I think, is that Dominic Rhodes? The pixelization on the jersey makes it hard to see, but if it's not Edgerrin James by now, as he gets absolutely swamped by Bruschi again, then my guess is Edgerrin James is hurt. We're going to have to look into
What a
this.
great secondary does.
When you've got a strong secondary working
But it's
in
2nd and
harmony
10
with
at the
a tough D-line,
25.
They are a force to be reckoned with.
And now if James is hurt, then I expect Peyton to go to the air a lot more. Which may make life difficult for us because it's kind of robbing Peter to pay Paul. And he is going to go up top. And he goes underneath to... That's not Marvin Harrison. That's too big to be Marvin Harrison. Is that Bubba Franks? That is Bubba Franks, the tight end. So there's two 88s on this team. There's 88 Marvin Harrison and there's 88 Bubba Franks. That's going to be easy to keep track of, especially since that's not legal in the NFL. You only have one uniform jersey number per player. So it'll be 3rd and 6. And Manning out of the shotgun. Dumps it off, goes back to Finn, and Malloy scoops him up and drops him after a pickup of 3, and that'll be 4th down.
The Colts are going to give away some great field
And they're going to kick it away from their 32. So we force them to go 3 and out on their second drive after getting the turnover on the first drive. So far, so good. We can't ask for this to go a lot better. And I think that's Hunter Smith who's the punter. It's not Pat McAfee yet. For those of you who don't remember, Pat McAfee once upon a time was indeed a... Did Ty Law just get in my way? Trying to get the return back.
They want to score here.
And Ty Law acted more like than a door than a window. So we'll see what Drew Bledsoe can do on offense for the first time today. But as I was saying, yeah, if you don't remember, Pat McAfee once upon a time was an NFL player. He was actually a punter for the Colts. Before he became talking on ESPN, with the handoff to Redmond, and he busts through the line and immediately picks up a first down. That's a good sign. We were not able to do that last week at all against, or 2 weeks ago against the Colts. We were able to get yardage, but it was really inconsistent. So we'll go back to Redmond, and is he going to get the first down? Yes, he falls forward, picks up 10 more. We're right at midfield. So 2 runs, 2 pickups for Ted in the first down. And if we can keep this sort of momentum going, that'll be great. But we're going to see what we can do go into the air now. Because we got to see if we can spice it up. And Drew's got all the time to throw, finds Lucas, and the rookie gets upended. But not before he picks up about 30 on that play. We are deep in Colt territory at their 30. Goes in on 2 minutes to go in this first quarter. So now that we've proven we can get downfield through the air, we can do back on the ground here. I formation. Receiver in motion. We go back to Redmond. Big hole. Not a great pickup, but it's a solid 5. So it'll be 2nd 5 to 25. Let's see. Should go back to the air on this one.
Ball on the 25.
All right, split backfield. Bledsoe out of the shotgun. And we go to Johnson. Still on his feet. Still on his feet. 5 Colt jerseys around him, and not before he gets taken down in what, the 7-yard line, I think? Yeah, down at the 7. So now it's 1st and goal deep in the Colts red zone. Close it on a minute to go in the first. We were already up 7-0 thanks to that fumble recovery by Teddy Bruschi. We go to Redmond, and he breaks the tackle, and is he in? He should be. No, they're going to see he's down to 1. Still the thing that ticks me off about games like this is that they make the goal line. That should have been a touchdown. Instead, it's 2nd and goal at the 1-foot line. And we'll just hand off to the fullback and let Edwards take it in. Mark Edwards gets New England on the board to make it 13-0 the extra point coming up. When in doubt, just give it to the Vic Bruising fullback. So we'll have Adam come on to kick the point after. With 42 seconds to go in the first. And really, this first quarter could not have gone any better than we hoped it would. And if you consider last week, we are now, as the point after will go through, so that is good. We are now at 59 unanswered points in last game and this game combined. So 7 plays, 73 yards, and 2 minutes 35 seconds, capped by the 1-yard touchdown run by Edwards.
Lines up for the kickoff.
And more crucially, we're taking time off the clock, which is good because we don't want to give Peyton Manning any more available time to be able to put an attack together than we need to. So we'll be brought back to the 20. So we'll see what we can do here to stop their third drive from scrimmage. It's an I formation. Yeah, Rhodes is still the tailback. So, yeah, Edgerrin's got to be hurt. And speaking of hurt, Peyton Manning gets sacked by good old Willie McGinnis. Those two have battled a lot over the years. So, yeah, let's take a look at this. So, I think this is how I go find. Yeah, injuries. Ooh, yeah. Edgerrin James out 3 weeks with a herniated disc in his back. That's huge. And if anything, it speaks to why having a running back on the caliber of Edgerrin James is crucial to the success of your team. Because now this is an entirely different offense than we dealt with 2 weeks ago in the RCA Dome in Indianapolis. And if you watched that video, and I hope you did, it's completely night and day what the Colts have been able to do in this game versus what they did to us in that game. But this should be the last play of the quarter, and Peyton's going to just throw that one away. I think he was looking for Marvin Harrison on that one. That stops the clock with 12 seconds to go in the first. But now, if we don't have Edgerrin James to worry about on defense, then really our goal is to stop Peyton through the air. Because we can contain the Jim Finns of the world. As we throw the screen there, and we just tripped him up. It'll be 4th and 8, and that will be the end of the first quarter. So, 15 minutes in the books here in Foxboro, and we have jumped out to an early 14-0 lead on Peyton Manning and the Indianapolis Colts in this regular season rematch as we try to avoid the sweep. So, it'll be 4th and 8. They're going to have to punt it away for the second time. So Smith will come on for the honors. I would like to be able to block a punt this season. Like, blocking punts in these games, and it's the same thing in Madden, that it's never been quite that easy. But Johnson with a decent... Ooh, except he got hurt. That's not good. And he's going for the... Oh, he's going for the leg. You don't want that. One thing I have noticed in this game versus Madden, and I've been playing Madden 13 again during my off days this week, is that the injury system in that game is way skewed. Like, there are so many guys with season-ending injuries, potentially career-ending injuries. Like, guys get beat to a pulp in that game. And Redmond gets close to midfield after pick up a 5. So it'll be 2nd and 5. And it all tends to be the same injuries. Like, there's a million guys in my Madden game who are out with groin pulls, which I've never suffered a groin pull that I'm aware of, but given the nature of the injury, I wouldn't want one. So we go up the middle to David Patton, who's in now, and Johnson is going to... Okay, he's going to be out for 2 series with a twisted knee. I can handle that. So he's basically going to miss a half because he tweaked his knee.
Oh, absolutely. He got his hands up at just...
But we are now inside Indianapolis territory with about 4 minutes to go in the half. We'll get the ball back to start the second half, so we don't have to go too crazy here. And Redmond goes off tackle right and picks up a solid 7 yards, and he's closed in on 50 for the game. If we can get J.R. Redmond over 100 yards rushing today, that's going to be a big uptick. I don't remember offhand how he did 2 weeks ago, but I don't remember him getting anywhere near 100 yards in that game. Dwight Freeney and his linebacker will really shut him down. He breaks the tackle, got the first down again, and yeah, if we just keep chipping away like this, we should be in really, really good shape. And more importantly, we're just taking time off the clock here. It's not the most necessarily visually pleasing, I grant you, but it's effective. Send the tight end in motion. We go back to him, and he got bumped one. Oh, yeah, we're going nowhere this time. Did not survive the second wave coming in.
Number 55 slices through and
So now they're starting to get a little bit onto us in terms of the running game, which means now is a good time to go ahead and throw it.
A player like that, Peter. He's all field smart.
Absolutely. He saw where that play was going right from the
So
snap.
3 receivers on the near side. Lucas alone on the far side. 2nd and 13. And pump faked it. I didn't mean to pump it. Ah! I got pulled down with a sack. That is not what I wanted at all. I was trying to find a way to get it underneath. And I hit the L button to throw it. Instead, he pump faked it.
Well, I think they're just a bunch of individuals and not a team.
This is the first time I've ever done a pump fake. So now it's 3rd and 17. And we need a big pickup here. So we're going 4 receiver spread along with Rutledge at the tight end. Out of the shotgun. And except we're going to hit the 2-minute warnings. We're going to have to do this all over again. Not great clock management by me on that one. In the meanwhile, I am really looking forward to the NFL playoffs that start up today, since this comes out on a Saturday. And I'll get to that in a second. So 3rd and 17. And, ooh. Threw that the wrong way. Threw it into quadruple coverage. I'm surprised that wasn't picked. So it'll be 4th down. We're going to have to punt it away. Or we can try for the field goal. Because this will be a 50-yarder. Vinatieri's got the leg. Yeah, we'll try this. I mean, a 50-yarder in this game is not a chip shot. At least not by modern comparisons. Where 50-yarders pretty much are the routine. But if I can angle this right. Oh, yeah. This should have the length on it, and it is right down the Mass Pike. Adam Vinatieri puts it on the board to make it 17-0, so it's a 3-score lead now. With 1:53 to go in the half. So 8 plays, 20 yards, 2:53 off the clock, capped by the 51-yard field goal by Vinatieri. I'll take that as we kick it away. But as I was saying, I'm really looking forward to the playoffs today because there should be a lot of really good games on. The one I'm looking at, most importantly, is the Lions and the Commanders. I so badly want to say the Redskins, but them and the Redskins in a couple of years now. But the Lions absolutely have to win that game. They can't be like Minnesota and flame out in the first round. They've had the week off of the bye. They're playing at home, and if they want to have a serious shot at making the Super Bowl, they got to capitalize on it now. As we get the screen to Finn, and he's double-teamed and pulled down, and we got a penalty. We'll see who it's on. I think it's coming back the other way, and it is. It's a hold. So we'll make it 1st and 19 at the Indianapolis 8, and now I am wanting a sack and a safety.
That'll happen in the course of a struggle.
But I am happy that the Commanders have made it to the postseason. And, man, if you've been watching Jaden Daniels, he seems legit by all accounts. But, and I didn't even hit anything there to make my guy jump. The computer made him jump. So 2 steps forward, 1.5 steps back. Now it's 1st and 14 at the Indianapolis 13.
Ball at the 14-yard line.
The other game I'm looking at in the NFC with the Eagles and the Rams. If the Rams show up like they did against the Vikings last week, look out. I know Philly fans don't want to hear that necessarily, as that play went pretty much nowhere. But I watched that game from start to finish, and man, for a team that people didn't think much of, and I didn't hear a whole lot about the Rams considering how banged up they were in the early part of the year, and without having Aaron Donald on that defensive line, you wouldn't have known the way they just manhandled Sam Darnold. So second 11, and speaking of, we get the sack on Peyton Manning, our second of the ball game. And I think it's Deron Cherry, number 30, yeah. Came around that corner with the sack. So, but the Rams defense had 9 against the Vikings. That's insane. So they go underneath the Rhodes, and he gets pulled down. It'll be 4th and 13, and they have to punt away again with about a minute to go. So, if we're lucky, if we get a couple plays together, we might be able to get some points on the board here, but we're going to have to act quick. The interesting thing is going to be with the Eagles and the Rams is how much of an impact Saquon Barkley has on offense. I mean, dude ran for 2,000 yards this year, and he had a field day against the Rams when they played in the regular season. I think they said he went off for over 200 yards on the ground. He had almost 300 total yards in that game. So Smith is going to wait the last possible second to kick this away. So we may not get anything out of it. So Redmond will take it. I don't like having my starting running back there. It's cross midfield. We got 9 seconds. So we have enough for one play. And if we can get down the field enough, I'd say if we can get anywhere around the 30, we may be in with a shot at getting a field goal before we hit the break. So out of the shotgun, 4 receivers set. Rutledge is the tight end. Got time, let it go, and it's pulled in by Johnson, and we got it. And now we got to call a timeout quick with 2 seconds to go, and we got it. So that gives me a chance to bring Adam Vinatieri back on. This will be a 48-yarder, because we're about the 30, 31-yard line, so they round it up, it'll be 48. He already hit one from 51. So now he's kicking from the left hash. But it'd be nice to go to the locker room with a 20-0 lead. Again, no lead is safe against Peyton Manning because you never know. We can just turn it on. Now, as long as I get the angle right. It's got a little less power, but we hit it from 50 from here. Oh, yeah, that's right down Broadway. So we hit the locker room after 30 minutes of football with a 20-0 lead over the Indianapolis Colts. And wow, that is a much different stat board through one half than we were looking at 2 weeks ago. 7 passing yards and -5 rushing yards for the Colts offense. That's nuts. So we get the ball, like I said, to start the second half. But the absence of Edgerrin James is very much noted by this Indianapolis offensive squad. Taken by Fox at the 12. Spins by one tackler and gets up to about the 30. And that's another telling statistic right there, that we've been able to start right around our 40. And we've been consistently pinning the Colts back at their 21-yard line. For anyone who says that field position doesn't matter in football, they don't know what they're talking about, because it's a lot easier to operate when you have a much shorter field to cover. And if JR can continue the success he had in the first half, he picks up 6 on that run. Not only is he with a shot at getting 100 yards pretty easily, but we should be able to have this locked up by the end of this quarter if we score. Hurdles a guy and picks up the first down and a little bit more as we're close to midfield. I'll take that.
Is really benefiting from some excellent blocking from his front line.
And the other thing, unlike man, is that these guys don't tend to get tired as much. I have fatigue on in this game, but I think by 0-2, it really, the algorithms and everything that went into that, it wasn't quite as severe as it was in later runs. Because Redmond now has 11 carries for 62 yards, which is pretty standard fare. You want a running back to average between 15 and 20 carries for the most part in a game. But now we got to go through the air for a little bit. We got to break it up somehow. Drop back, we let it go, and picked up by Lucas. First down inside the 35 to the 32. If we keep hitting those sorts of plays for the rest of the game, then I see no reason why this isn't in the ag bag. And I know we got 3.5 minutes to go in the third, and we're only up by 20. So, I mean, it wouldn't take much for Peyton to get back into this. But if we don't give it to him, so we heard of one guy get across the 25 and down near the 20. And if JR is picking up, he's averaging 6 yards a carry. That's nice. So you figure we run it no more than twice in a row. Then go to the air a little bit. You go off tackle, and he's close to a first down again. That's a pick up a 9. We're inside the red zone now. Down to the 12.
Now they've got time for the pass if they want to. They are in the
So 2nd and 1. I'm liking my chances running it here, because if we just fall forward and gain a yard, which we spun off the tackle and picked up a couple of more after the hit. So he's at 86 yards and he's gained 40 yards after first contact. All right. We'll take one shot through the air. If not, we'll go back on the ground. But what I'm looking at is just a quick strike here. And it looks like Indy's sitting in the house, so we've got to be careful and get it away quick. And we go to Johnson. He's got it down at the 2. That's exactly what I wanted, just that little quick slant. If you don't know how a slant works, it's literally you go up about 2 steps and you go at about a 45-degree angle to the middle of the field. And they're designed to be like really quick, as Redmond will walk this one in for the touchdown. So now make it a 26-0 game with the extra point coming up. And having a 4-possession lead, dare I say, with how the Indianapolis offense has been running today, and not functioning, without Edgerrin James, this may be just about all we need. Vinatieri's 2 for 2 for extra points. He's 2 for 2 for field goals, so this should make him 3 for 3. And it's good. Realistically, I should go for 2 to make it 28-0, but I'm not going to worry about it. So 9 plays, 62 yards. Capped by the run by Redmond in 3 minutes and 2 seconds. That's the very model of a modern clock-killing drive. And that's really what I want to do here, is I want to just chew up time. As this will be taken in the end zone. They'll bring it back out to the 20, and that's where Peyton Manning will start again. So let's see what we can do here. The run game has not really been a factor for Indianapolis. And we've done a really good job of containing the passes to underneath stuff. He hasn't been able to go downfield. And one thing is they hand off to Finn, and again, he hits the line and goes nowhere. One thing I have noticed in this game that is much different than later iterations of NFL games that feature Peyton Manning is that you don't have his ability to change and modify plays at the line. And that's something that if you never watched Peyton Manning play football, if you're of the age that you didn't see him play, that was where his real genius was. Is that he was the first quarterback in generations to both call the play as he was looking downfield. That was Frank's.
Really feeling the heat on that one, Dan.
That rather than having an offensive coordinator tell him from the sideline what to run, he would go in and he would just know what plays to run, and that's what he would call. And people don't remember the fact that, because they're not old enough to, and I wasn't of an age when I grew up starting to watch football that this happened. There was a time back in pre-1960s, as that one gets away to Franks and he goes only a couple of yards. But anyway, there was a time in the pre-1960 where, quarterbacks called their own plays at the line. They didn't have an offensive coordinator, and linebackers and defensive players didn't have a defensive coordinator. They had to know all the playbook, and they had to call the plays. So everything was settled on the field, and Smith will punt this away. And it wasn't until Paul Brown, who was the reason why the Cleveland Browns have their name, he was the founder of the Browns, was the head coach for, I think, almost 20 years. And was one of the most innovative guys in NFL history. And a lot of people say he's the most innovative guy in NFL history. But one of the things he did was he started a system by which the quarterback did not call the plays anymore. He thought he could call the plays better from the sideline. So we hand off to Redmond here and up the middle, and Again, still picking, still won't go down. And he's right on the cusp of getting 100 yards. And that's exactly what we want to have happen today. So, when in doubt, we'll run it to him again and see if we can get him over the hump here before the end of the third quarter. But Peyton Manning was the first quarterback that I saw in my time that consistently called the plays. And yeah, that's definitely 100 yards. So he's at 101 is Gerald Redmond. We should be able to get one more playoff before the end of the quarter. And we should go to the air this time. See if we get the play away. 2-1. Nope, we got it off. Drop, let it go. Oh, he picks it off. Threw it right to Bashir. Can we stop him? Drew Bledsoe ends up getting the touchdown-saving tackle to reserve the shutout. But he threw it right to him.
27-0.
So we go to the fourth, now up 27-0. But the Colts are going to start with their best field position of the day at our 31-yard line after a preposterous interception that Bledsoe had no business throwing. And now, how did he not get sacked there? I had a guy diving right at his shins. He should have gone down. Instead, that was a reception and a gain of 9. We're going to say a gain of 8. Well, either way, they're right on the fringe of our red zone now. It's 2nd and 2. I want to keep the shutout going, and I don't want to give up points, but now they're in field goal. Ah! Okay, that was me. I jumped the gun that time, except I missed. And again, that was Peyton Manning's strength. It was in playing the snap count and making you jump. So now it's 1st and goal at the 18-yard line. So if nothing else, they're in field goal range. So now we got to stop him and back him up. We're going to have to back him up a heck of a long way. So Manning out of the shotgun. And he tries going over to Franks, and the contact made sure that that didn't happen. We've only allowed 18 passing yards against Peyton Manning. Are you kidding me? That's unheard of. I don't think there's ever been a game in NFL history that Peyton Manning played that anybody held him to 18 yards. I don't think there was a college or a high school game that they held him to 18 yards. He's going to roll out again, and this time, I think that's Marvin Harrison. That looks like a smaller version of Bubba Franks. I think that, yeah, that's Marvin Harrison. But now they're down inside the 6.
Nice run to that catch.
They're at the 7, right? Yep, no, they are marking at the 6. Okay.
Yeah, that's why receivers
So,
in today's NFL
it's crunch time. If we want to keep the shutout, we got to hold them here. They hand off to Finn, and he gets popped and goes nowhere. Well, if they keep doing that, I'm liking my chances a little bit more. It's still 2nd and goal, back at the 10. Finn in the backfield, twin tight end set. And they were looking for Franks and just threw it behind him, so it'll be 3rd and goal.
Manning got spooked into throwing early. That kind of vice-like defense can really squeeze out some bad passes.
So now we're going to have to come up with something good on this one. Man, very much like a pick here. Split backfield again with Finn and Rhodes. Out of the shotgun, Manning. They go to Finn, and he lost the football. Are you kidding? And we got an open field. Shaw is off to the races. 50, 45. We're going to have anybody catch him. 15, 10, and Marvin Harrison trips him up at the 3. Are you kidding me? Jim Finn strikes again. And we take it off the 1 hop. And I don't know who Shaw was, but he was, that had to be, what, 96 yards back to the 2. So he turned what was going to likely be an instant touchdown into 1st and goal for us at the 2. We go to Redmond. He walks it in, touchdown. Wow. Wow. Well, my grandfather always said it's better to be serendipitous than proficient, and we have been nothing but serendipitous in the last 2 games in terms of fumble recoveries. So now it's 33-0 with the extra point coming up. And poor Jim Finn. And looking him up, this is his last year with the Colts. He ends up going to the Giants to play out the remainder of his career. He's with the Giants from 03 to 07. He actually wins a Super Bowl ring, as the point after is good, with the Giants beating the Patriots in 07 as part of their taking down the perfect season. So now with 3:20 to go in the game, it's 34-0. And that just completely blows my mind that they were right there on the doorstep and that he fumbled it away again. And that we just managed to have the good fortune to scoop it right up. So Military will kick it away. And now if we can just hold them, we'll have back-to-back shutouts. And right now we are at 34-0, 45, so that is 79 unanswered points that we have posted in 2 weeks. So now they'll start at their 20 again. And actually, we'll back it up because that should be a false start. It was. And I think that's Jeff Saturday, their center. So we'll make it 1st and 15 at the 15-yard line. Wow. It's funny how the computer in these games, when it wants to, it can be really generous. I think it can be really harsh when it doesn't want to be.
Ball on the 15.
Like, I was playing Madden, like I said earlier in the week, I was playing the Buffalo Bills. And poor E.J. Manuel, the quarterback for the Bills in the season I have, as they go out to Rhodes. It's my 1 tackler, but not 2. His Cherry's there in pursuit. So pick up a 5. But E.J. Manuel threw 2 picks on 2 passes to open the game to my same defensive back, and he took it back for a touchdown. Like, the odds of that are so insane that I don't know a prop better in Vegas on, hey, Jim Finn got a little bit of redemption there as he picks up the first down a little bit more. But, I mean, you would have to be a real degenerate gambler to put money down on a prop bet like that. That the same player is going to get back-to-back picks on back-to-back plays, and they're going to be pick sixes. It's a new set of downs for Indy. And nope, good old Jim returns the form as he gets poleaxed into the turf for a loss of 2. And now the happiest thing I can do is just let the clock keep running. Because we're close to the 2-minute warning. Manning got a shotgun on 2nd and 12. Lets this one go. Oh, that was pulled in by Franks. That could have been picked off. Brewski was there. The coverage wasn't bad. He just whiffed on the ball, trying to swat it down. That is one other bone of contention I have with Madden as opposed to games like Sega Sports NFL games, is that it teases you with being so close to a pick in Madden that you're right there, you're trying to, and somehow the 50-50 ball goes right to the receiver. Or conversely, something that ticks me off a lot is that, and I had this happen earlier today, where pretty much every pass I was throwing to my receiving core was getting knocked out on contact by the defenders, but when I go to hit their receivers, that never happened. As Rhodes got hit by Law, and then the second wave showed up and knocked him down for a loss of 1, and now we're in the hurry-up offense. And that gets... See, that wouldn't have happened in Madden. Franks would have caught that. The contact wouldn't have mattered at all.
Well, they get lost lock onto a receiver.
So 3rd and
you don't
11.
Take into consideration what's actually happening on the field.
Yep, it's all about reading the field and adjusting.
Now the shotgun in split backfield.
Manning, pass again.
And that was tipped and not completed. They were looking for Hart on that one, and Malloy right there on the contact again.
With the clock winding down,
So
their
4th
backs
and
are
11.
against the wall. They've got to go for it.
It would be an incredible.
The question is,
comeback
are
if
they
could
going
close
to?
the
Yeah, they're
gap.
going to punt it.
They've got to convert here, and they've got to work fast. Smith will punt for the 5th time.
And he gets it away as the coverage was coming in for the block. And that's a good punt, taken at our 7. To Bucky Jones, breaks 1 tackle, but not 2, and not a great return. So now with 90 seconds to go, all we need to do really is get a couple of first downs.
Time to show any signs of weakness.
A minute 30 on the game clock.
And we can put a cap on this one, content with having the shutout again. And we just got a little bit of assistance as we're going to move up 5 yards as they jump the line.
Ellis Johnson gets the call for encroaching. Just snuck up a little too much.
So we'll make it 1st and 5. I'm fine with that. We go back to Redmond, and yeah, he's got the first down and a bit more. He's got 110 rushing yards on the day, and the Colts to -1. Boy, they dearly wish they had Edgerrin right now. If I remember right, I think he may have been the first rusher that we've come up against who had 100 yards against us.
Room on the right side. With the tackle.
Chad Cota, former University of Oregon product with that hit.
It's all about getting
But
that
it's still
yardage.
2nd and 3, so pick up a 7.
Very good position.
Now, if we get this first down, we can pretty much wrap it up and call it good. And we're going to get it. Yes, we are.
Looks like it's a first down.
You can't
So,
coach that. When a running back is in sync
we have about
with
40
like
seconds to
that,
go, so we can take the knee here, and we're just going to let the clock run down, because otherwise we'd have to pick another play. So we are going to go to 5-1 on the year. We get the revenge on Peyton and the Colts for them beating us in the RCA Dome 2 weeks ago, and we do it quite emphatically at that by preserving the shutout. Poor Jim Finn helped out in our cause far more than he helped out in his own with those 2 fumbles. And it is amusing that the first score we got and the last score we got came because of fumbles from him. Now's a good time. We'll take the knee, and that puts a button on it. So,
Time runs out, and that's the end.
we get revenge on the Colts and avoid the season sweep with a 34-0 win. And now we will move on to Week 7. But all things considered, that went as way better than I thought it was going. I thought it was going to be much more of a challenge. I still think that if we fight them in the playoffs, then it should be a lot stronger test. But we will see how we are in the standings. That's not the standings. There we go. So we are at 5-1. We are tied with the Eagles for the 2nd best record in the league. The Rams and the Jaguars, the Jacksonville Jaguars, are 6-1. The Colts dropped to 4-3. So we're right in the thick of the playoff hunt as we're reaching the halfway point in the season. Now the question is who we're going to take on next week, and that will be the Oakland Raiders. And we got to go out to the Bay to take them on for a Sunday noon game. They're not in Las Vegas yet, but that should be an interesting matchup. And that, everybody, is Sports Saturday for this week. Thank you very much for tuning in. Hope you've been enjoying the content as always. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell. You know the drill by now. Be sure to follow us, or be sure to tune in, rather, to Sucker Punch Sunday coming up tomorrow, where we play a classic fighting or fighting platform-based game from the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th generation. Also, don't miss our ongoing playthrough of Super Robot Wars Alpha Gaiden for the PlayStation 1 from 2001. We have new episodes that come out every Monday and Wednesday, and we are wrapping that series up pretty soon. We've got about 10 episodes left to record on that, which means we should be done right around early February, about mid-February, around Valentine's Day. And then from there, we've already got our next playthrough picked out, but we're going to run a couple of WTF Wednesdays and one-day playthroughs in the interim between that, just to get some more content for those series, because they've kind of fallen by the wayside, and it's 2025, and we want to get new stuff going. Be sure to follow us on social media through Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky at Ronan's Retrocade. Help spread the word about us as we continue to build this channel and make it bigger and better. As always, your patronage is most appreciated. Thank you for your likes, your subscriptions, your comments. It's what we do. At the end of the day, we're just a bunch of people who love to play video games, and we hope you enjoy what we put out there give you some much needed levity. In the meantime, my name is Ron. It's been great to spend this Saturday with you. Be safe, be well, happy gaming. We'll talk to you tomorrow for Sucker Punch Sunday. Bye.